Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm back with a message for you. Today, I feel guided to do a pick a card reading, or pick a pile, I guess it really is. And even more specifically, pick a car. These are my son's Hot Wheels cars, well, particularly trucks, actually. And I just wanted to give you a visual for your choice because last time I just did pile 1, 2, and 3. So I decided to just make it a little bit more fun today for myself, if not for you. So with that being said, let me do this so that I can timestamp appropriately or properly. With that being said, I'm going to invite you to pick your pile by picking your car. Okay, so for pile number 1, we have a trash truck. And he has many cars, but these were the ones that were most distinct. So I went with those today. For pile number 2, we have what honestly I am not sure of, but I identify with it as a fire truck for all intents and purposes. But I think it's some type of fuel truck or something. But for you today, this is a fire truck. Pile number 2. Pile number 3, we have a tow truck. Very distinct, no questions there, a tow truck. So I invite you again to pick the truck that you most identify with, the trash truck, the fire truck, or the tow truck. And we're going to get started. Okay, let's move these guys up there. Pile number 1, the trash truck. Will this have any correlation with the message? We shall see. I think I'm going to more or less just do like 3 cards since there aren't many cards here anyway, and trying to keep it as simple as possible. It's actually harder to shuffle with fewer cards than it is with the whole deck, believe it or not. All right, we got the 3 of Cups. Let's see what else we got for pile number 1. Pile number 1. What's the message, Spirit? Almost flipped over, but that was the Strength card. Didn't quite make the cut. Okay, we got the 8 of Wands. And let's get one more for pile number 1. Too many? Probably should have taken it, but we're going to keep it fair and simple today. Come on. Okay. And we have the 9 of Wands. Okay. So pile number 1, let's see, I'll put this here. We may turn over the side of, well, actually I'll put it down here. We may turn over the top and bottom cards to see what else is under there, but for now, let's see what the message is saying. Ooh. I'm getting that I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. This person is looking back at his past actions regarding women. Maybe how he mishandled feminines, maybe in regret for energies that he allowed to infiltrate his personal space, or energies in which he infiltrated their personal space. But there's some great sense of regret and remorse and even energetic imbalance on account of some connectivity with some feminine forces. Now, this is a trio, which definitely gives like a third-party energy, you know. So, do I want to go here? I'm just going to say how I feel it. I'm just going to say it. This guy is suffering not just energetically, but also physically from because I'm seeing this Eight of Wands as like an attack, and it's coming from these sources. So this is either an energetic attack, maybe even psychic attack, because Nine of Wands also gives an indication of mental instability or mental disorder even. But it's the wands for me that are really, being at the wands and the cups, that are really driving this idea of maybe perhaps a sexually transmitted disease, or a spiritually transmitted disease, even more so, which, you know, the latter could definitely lead to the former, if you know what I mean. But it's on account of his own actions. You know, he mixed himself up in with the, you know, the wrong type of girls, or, you know, just got roped into having too much fun, you know, doing too much with too many, and not really protecting his best interests in the spiritual sense and the physical sense. And this energy here is like, to me, it's almost karmic in a sense, because the Eight of Wands always signifies that it's a ethereal energetic force. So to me, especially with the direct progression of the 8 to the 9, it's saying to me that this is just like, you know, karma coming back around for however he mismanaged himself and mismanaged these energies, one to another, all in the same. It's coming back to bite him in the ass, and he is not happy about it. And it's almost hard for him to move forward, and to really see a hope for his presence right now, because of his focus and almost obsession with the past. Like, he's looking back wishing that he had done some things differently, or not done some things, or not done some people perhaps. And with the 8, man, that could be even more than the 3 that we see here. It's just like, for it to go from 8 to 9 so instantaneously, it seems as though this return of energy in a very karmic sense is very sudden, and it's making a huge impact on his psychological, mental, and obviously physical balance. It's making it very hard for him to stabilize himself. So I guess in a sense, you know, this is definitely something that is trash adjacent in a sense, like, not to make light of a situation, but perhaps, you know, it's the energies of the past that need to be released and reformed, and some, maybe his actions actually are the things that need to be reformed, because just as much as, you know, he's looking back at as if the blame is coming from these 3, or from those, you know, from which this energy has come from, in all actuality, it was all within his power. You know, he was a voluntary, a willing participant in what used to be a good time, because these 3 of Cups look like they're in celebration. You know, once upon a time, it was fun while it lasted. And now, you know, these are the repercussions of reckless, I would say, actions. And so maybe the correlation with the trash is just releasing old karmic cycles and old karmic activity, and really getting present with the vibration, the purest vibration of your creativity and power. Just as much as this energy may feel like it's happening to you, it's actually happening for you, because what also the 9 of Wands indicates is that regardless of what you have encountered or incurred, you're still standing. You still have a wand in your hand. You have still lived to tell the story. So there's still hope for some progressive future. But you most certainly have to release some things, trash it, maybe trash some people, trash some behaviors, and just purify your life is what I would say. Like really purify your intentions to be more healthy, more healthily sourced, okay? So I hope that you're not on the end of this guy here per se, but if you are, good luck to you, and there's hope for a brighter tomorrow. Just change your perspective, change your intentions, and let your actions meet that regard, okay? So let's see. On the bottom, we got the Knight of Swords, because he's really angry. He's angry, but his anger is misdirected, because you can't be mad at the energies that you were in alignment with. At the end of the day, we all have the power of our choices. That's the greatest power that we have, our will. And if you were willing to be a participant in debauchery and, whatever else you want to call it, because I don't want to demonize it, but sometimes things just happen and we're just not careful. We're not careful with ourselves and with the people that we expose ourselves to. You have to take accountability for your actions. You can't, it's not, even though it may not have been, this incident may not have been self-imposed directly, you still have to take accountability for your participation, because the blame shifting is not at all productive in any move forward, which is why there's like a stuckness here, a stagnancy and an imbalance emotionally and energetically to keep one from moving forward, because you're looking at all the wrong people to blame, when ultimately you just got to look at yourself, look in the mirror. Yeah, and this is the Tower that kind of brought everything down, brought the house down. Maybe some this is the sudden turn of events, actually. That's what the Tower is. It's like a sudden change, sudden news, maybe a deterioration of sorts of a circumstance or a situation. But what I always like to point out about the Tower is that it is the breaking down for the rebuild. So when a foundation is not firm, whether it be in people and places or things, if it's not secure, the universe will oftentimes, or sometimes our own actions, set these things into play, where that foundation will be diminished and destroyed so that it can be cleared, the way can be cleared for something more fortifying to be built. So that's the hope of the situation, is that as long as you have breath in your body, there's still an opportunity to rebuild. Don't blame anyone. Don't even blame yourself any more than you take accountability for your actions. Accountability and blame are two different things. Blame doesn't blossom. Accountability absolutely does. You can learn from your past experiences enough to know what things need to be released and trashed, taken out with the garbage, even actions within your own self or choices that you've made, so that you just don't recreate this experience of demise again in any other way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's pile number one. Didn't mean for it to be so morbid, but I guess that's where we are now. So pile number one is such. All right. Bam. All right. Pile number two. You chose the fire truck. That's what I see it as, okay? So the fire truck is your pile. Let's see if we can get 3 cards. We got the Two of Wands. Let me move this out the way a bit more. Two of Wands. Too many. That was Just 2 at a time. I want to keep it fair. Just 1 card at a time, please, Spirit, like we did for pile 1. It's a little harder to shuffle with less cards. It's harder to get the grip going. Too many. It's a lot to say in pile 2, obviously. It's an emergency situation in pile 2. It's a lot of messages. All right. Come on, give us 1, Spirit. 1, please. Still too many. Okay. It's a lot of scary energies popping up, though. I could read them just as they are. When I get the hang of these picker cards, I may not be as structured. I'll kind of let them be, but I don't really do them much, so I'm trying to keep it simple even for myself. Really, Spirit? This is a plan. What's the plan for? The plan of action for, okay, the Ace of Truth, okay. I'm sorry, I always say that. The Ace of Swords, which is about divine clarity and truth. Let's see, what else we got? 1 more. Come on, thank you. Don't let it be pulling teeth. Okay, all right. So we got the 2 of Wands, we got the Ace of Swords, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. This is pretty high vibrational energy regarding the fire truck. Now, 2 of Wands is about planning and plotting to take some action. In this sense, I see it as taking a higher road or taking a higher vibration of action toward some outcome. It's integral with to have clarity, or to, what's the Ace of Swords about? Truth and clarity about legacy or dynasty. Maybe to acquire legacy and material manifestation, because that's what the 10 of Pentacles is. It's like an overflow of wealth, generational wealth, multiple streams of income even. And there's some plan, maybe you're setting some plan in motion to acquire that. But what is the Ace of Swords? That's what's throwing me off. Where is that at? Okay, we got the 2 of Cups on the top. Oh, okay. And the 10 of Swords. So what is the Ace of Swords is the plan to overcome some burdens or blockages that have been mismanaged, that have been taken on unjustifiably in order to forge this path to prosperity, to this overflow. There's something there's some truth and clarity that's going to come to light about the relationships in this person's life, you or whomever is watching, whoever receives this. There's some truth and clarity, because this is what is unseen to come, that there's some release of burdens by way of some reveal or some information that's going to be revealed or shared to this individual who's been in planning, who's been in integrity with his planning to take over the world, in a sense. That's what I hear with him holding the globe in his hand. That he's been working very hard and diligently
Somebody's knocking on the door.
Okay. Sorry about that interruption. It doesn't even matter. But let's see how we can bring this all back in together. So we have the 2 of Wands, which is about planning to take some action of a committed action toward being clear. Well, it's a plan of action. what's in the okay, so this is what I'm saying. What's in the middle of this is that something needs to be made clear about some burden that has been carried. Okay, because this is in a way of family too when you have the Ten of Pentacles. So there's what's the disparity between this diligent planning and this manifesting, this plan coming into play, is this truth, this sword of truth, this divine clarity and truth that needs to come to light, or gets to come to light, that's going to release this individual of some burden so that he's working much smarter than he is harder for this ultimate outcome. That's what I'm seeing. So there's something that's going to be revealed. That's what it is. It's something that's going to be revealed in the matter of some partnership, and me seeing the Two of Cups right now, to me the Two of Cups is like it may be about some collaborations that have been an obstruction, especially on the other side of this, some collaborative efforts that have been an obstruction to hinder the progression of this plan, because the Two of Wands implies that there's definitely been some very intentional, powerful actions taken. Like, he's very clear about his way forward. He knows what he wants to do in this sense, in this energy. He knows what he wants to do. He's left some energy behind, like that at a fork in the road. He's made a very definitive choice about his way forward. And his idea is to create some circumstance where this is the outcome. What he's working towards is prosperity and wealth, generational wealth, not just for himself, but it implies that there's a very broad perspective of prosperity here. But what's been stifling that expansion is this clarity that has yet to be exposed or made light. And that's the energy that's coming up here, that there's some partnership collaboratively that has been more of a burden than a blessing to this progression. And that revelation is what's going to ultimately take some of the weight off of his shoulder. And I'm just going to go out on a limb, and say with the Two of Cups, it's a partnership energy that can sometimes, like, it can be an expression of love. It could even be an expression of an indication of friendship, like platonic connection, but it's just agreement in general. And sometimes when I'm seeing, especially in the vein that we're in right now energetically, when I'm seeing the Two of Cups, I'm always questionable about the essence of that partnership. Is it high vibrational? Is it well-intentioned? And given that that's something that needs to come to light about it in order for his road to open up in some way, shape, or form, it's telling me that it's something that it hasn't been altogether beneficial or forwarding for his plan. And that's why it's divine that it come to light now at this time, because in order for this plan to proceed, it's almost like this truth is like a thorn in his side. It has to be uprooted about whatever partnerships or collaborations or whatever obstructions, whatever collaborative forces that have been an obstruction to the progress of this plan. Because it's so well intentioned, the divine is inclined to get behind the favor of it, and to ultimately be a force against anything that would be an obstruction. So if that's a matter of information that needs to be exposed, or I don't know what you would say, like something needs to be uncovered and revealed in order for him to move into this prosperous future. And maybe that's the reason for the fire truck. It's like an emergency of sorts. That there's something I'm hearing where there's smoke, there's fire. And maybe that there's been smoke for a long time in the plan of this, this guy's intentions, but it was hard to really, sniff out the source and now it's like the divine is going to open up. And look, this even looks like smoke a little bit. You know, it more so is a cloud, but how it looks right now is like smoke. And now it's like the divine is finally going to clear away that that haze, so that this person can really truly see the obstructions in his path, and more importantly, to be able to clearly see the way forward, which means that it may be causing, or it'll probably afford him to be able to truly release some individuals first and foremost, maybe even people, places, and things that he's been carrying on his back. Because what this also implies is that his projection of the future, is not just for himself. So maybe he's been carrying way too much responsibility and accountability for the family or friends or community or whomever he wants to impact in a positive way by way of his plans. And the divine is about to like release something to tell him, like, don't even worry your head, sweetheart, don't even worry about it. Like, you're doing too much for too little, or too much for people that ultimately don't really appreciate it or don't deserve it. So it's like the divine is going to really like scale down his efforts so that he's not feeling so responsible, or even when he acquires this great wealth and success and abundance, that he's not feeling so responsible for all of the the people that he has, the world. It's like the world on his shoulders right here in both of these cards. He's like carrying the world on his shoulders, like it's his responsibility to do so, when in actuality there are some people that should not, by divine ordinance, have any access to what it is that he's building, or what it is that he has the vision or the mind to create. Some people that should not be a part of it, both from divine ordinance and also just from an earthly perspective of, not entangling yourselves in connections with people that ultimately will drag that vibration down and drag you down with it. So it's like the emergency situation is just clearing the way, completely clearing the fire, that he didn't even know was started, clearing the smoke, and with water, which ultimately is the spirit. So it's like purifying, his path, so that only what is true and upright and honorable are going to continue on to this ultimate journey of prosperity in the future. All right, so that's number 2. Hope that made sense to you with that grave interruption. And we will move on to pile number 3, which is the tow truck. All right, let's see what we got here. Spirit, what messages do you have for us for pile number 3? Give us something clear and concise. 3 cards, if you will, one at a time. Oh, that popped up kind of crazy. The High Priestess. Give us 2 more, I'm sorry, Spirit, if you will, one at a time. I didn't mean for that to pop up, but I guess it did. 10 of Cups. 1 more. Okay. And the Page of Cups. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got the High Priestess, the 10 of Cups, and the Page of Cups. And this is by way of the tow truck. All right, so the High Priestess is about secrets, also about divine alignment. Ten of Cups is about wish fulfillment and, well, spiritual fulfillment and also material fulfillment. It's also a family card. And then you have the Page of Cups, which is more or less a message, an emotional or some emotionally driven message or energetic offering. The High Priestess, secrets about family. Let me turn over the cards. Under the deck, we got the Lovers, and then we have, okay, and then we have the Ace of Wands. Strong cards. What is this about? I'm a little stumped here, I ain't gonna lie. It's like, so the dynamics are so strange to me because we got this childlike energy, then we have this supreme spiritual being, then we have the family card in the middle. Nothing particularly seems derogatory about it, especially when we have the Lovers and the Ace of Wands, which is a new opportunity. Is this the top? Yeah, that's the bottom. So there's some partnership on the horizon. Okay, all right. So this is like a coming together of family. That's what it is. That's what it is. And it may be a blended family. I hear that for some reason because these two are kind of on the outside of this family card, and there's one more child in this card than than I can count otherwise. And then we have the couple energy here and the Ace of Wands, which is about pure passion, and it's a positive energetic card in terms of creativity and action and passion. So yeah, like I'm seeing, well, what's the secret about it, or what's the High Priestess's role in that? I know that the inflection here is that there's been some choice of higher self. That's why the High Priestess can sit in the position that she's in. And I'm even feeling like this kid is magical too, with the fish in the cup, because sometimes I used to say, like, you like how you pull a rabbit out of a hat, you could pull a fish out of the cup. So there's some like powerfully ordained union that is coming together for the ultimate happy ending effect. That's what's coming together, and it's coming from different aspects of energies that, well, I mean, with the Lover's card, it's been ordained in some special way, in some ethereal way, and now it's being actualized by spirit, by the matter of spirit, to come together in the form that it was intended to. And maybe, it's unconventional. That's what it is. It's like an unconventional union or family dynamic. And perhaps, it may not really make a lot of sense on the outside looking in, or it's just very unique, in its essence. But if this is, your pile, definitely take heart that it's going to be special to you, and it's what, was divine for you. So it may be important with the tow truck card to maybe toe all those outside opinions and conventions of society that may want to project a certain reality onto, or a certain limitation, I should say, onto your reality that might make you question, or maybe even want to be secret, or keep this dynamic a secret, or want to want to be very careful about the exposure, and maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing either, to be careful of. Maybe that is the caution as well, to be careful about your exposure and the vulnerability of this union as it is, because it is very sacred according to this spread, and it has, a dynamic potential for happiness and just to be the fullest of fulfillment that was ultimately prayed for in some way, shape, or form, or manifested, in some way, shape, or form. But with the tow truck energy, I'm still, maybe it's moving. Maybe there's a move coming on the result of this coming together. But my original intuition was telling me that there's a need to just kind of remove certain conventions, maybe outdated ideals about family. Yes, okay, because I said this is like a blended situation, or maybe just a different dynamic of family. So there's a need for you to either remove yourself from the confines of convention, or remove those conventions from your confines, to ultimately not be confined or defined by what society says is a successful family unit, or even what society, by way of, the intimate society in your life, other outside family, friends, may have to say about this this family unit. You may be susceptible to a lot of energetic forces that want to impose their opinions or their ideologies, yeah, for sure, about how you live your life, who you choose to be in partnership with, maybe how you raise your kids, where you choose to live, how you make money, what spiritual practice you submit to, what higher power you surrender to, what is the destiny ultimately of your life. That's what I'm feeling, is that there's maybe some dormant vehicles, by way, i.e. energies in your space, your energetic sphere, that are taking up space regarding, this bold wish fulfillment that you have been calling in. And some may have an opinion based on, just wanting to be in the best interest, of your happiness, or wanting to be in alignment with the best interest of your happiness and your security and your stability. Some may be imposing for some alternative or ulterior motives. But either way, I think the message in this case is just to be grounded by the divine alignment that you submit to, knowing that what you're doing, what you're choosing, who you're choosing to be with, and what you're choosing to do, how you're choosing to have, and all those, the essence of your life is exactly as you have envisioned it, and as you are intentional about creating it from the highest source, not from the outside, from the landscape around you, not in comparison to what anybody else is doing, whether they be in close proximity or, more expanded proximity, but just really being focused and fueling the intentions of the creativity of family in your life. And that may even mean creating family. I'm hearing soul tribe in this sense. It may not even be like, the, what do you call it? Like the nuclear family of mother, father, daughter, son. It could be, and it's definitely implied here, but maybe even within that convention is something very unconventional that others may have something to say or may question, or that you may even question because of the come from of convention that you originate from. I guess the message is to definitely celebrate the gift of family, however it is presented to you, however it's packaged. It's a gift from the divine for you to receive wholeheartedly, no matter what anyone has to say about it or what they see of it. Family, ultimately, soul tribe, is what you make it, and it's defined by you and your creativity. So embrace it wholeheartedly, okay? So that's that on that. I'm gonna leave that there. And that was pile number 3. And with that, on that note, I'm going to close this out with the interruption. I hope that you enjoyed this pick a card, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.